We hear so much about estrogen and estrogen dominance. How much of a concern are other hormones in terms of their balance and things like that?
Well, estrogen, when you talk about estrogen dominance, you're referring to what I've said before. It's too much estrogen in your
Mm.
body. It could be from lack of exercise. It could be from stress. It's how your adrenals are functioning. It can be from taking too much estrogen, exogenous estrogen from therapy. It could be from, um, you know, you, I said diet, but too much meat, not enough fiber in your diet, so the estrogen recirculates in your system. There are a number of different things, but it's not just the estrogen. It could be the lack of those things that balance estrogen too, which could be, for example, as I mentioned before, progesterone. Progesterone
Mm.
is needed as a balance because they're made in equal amounts throughout the menstrual cycle. And so if you have a physiologic level of estrogen, you need to have a physiologic level of progesterone to balance it.
Mm.
But there are other hormones that come into play that help balance the estrogen too. Testosterone is an
Mm.
anti-estrogen in a sense, but it has its own important functions in the body.
Mm.
So there are many different things. Cortisol and estrogen tend to be stimulating, and they're working in concert. So if you're overstressed,